Good morning.
Good morning.
This morning, I guess we're talking about
Awareness.
awareness. What on earth does that even mean?
Yeah, so we decided after our little Sedona retreat that the month of April, we really wanted to focus on those mental, emotional, spiritual parts of the matrix. So kind of the middle. Because often, we concentrate on very important things like diet, lifestyle interventions, toxins. But really that center of the matrix, the mental, emotional, spiritual, is also like so important in the healing journey. And it really starts with what we're going to talk about today, awareness. Because if you're not aware of something, you're not able to change it. So really just becoming aware of everything, your thoughts, your emotions, the food you're putting in your mouth, mindfulness eating. So we really just wanted to dive into what awareness means and give you some steps and things that you can do on your own.
And I'm going to start with a shameless plug. Our new book, what's the name of our new book?
The one we published last year?
Yeah.
Find Your Core.
Find Your Core.
Okay.
Find Your
I was like,
Core.
we have a couple books in the
Yeah.
making, so I wanted to make sure I didn't know which one you were talking about.
Find Your Core, A Journey Back to Self, where we kind of go through talking about how to find your core beliefs and which of those beliefs might be limiting and things like that. But this awareness idea, we do a test in our office called a heart rate variability test. And we often see people, and I ask the question, how would you describe the stress in your life? And they say, oh, well, I'm busy, but I'm not that stressed. And we do the HRV, the heart rate variability test, and it's like they're stressed out of their mind.
They don't even know it.
And they don't even know it, which was my result too, by the way. So awareness is often more subtle than we think, because we are all the collective frog in the pot, slowly being burned, boiled to death by our environments, right? So, we certainly still focus on toxins and metabolic health and all that stuff, but this month we're just really focusing on this area because we think it's oh, well, thank you, Carol. Carol's going to be getting that book. And by the way, we need to talk. I'll call you later. I forgot what I was talking about. Something about
Awareness.
Awareness. See, I wasn't even aware of what I was talking about.
Well, this is real though. This is what we're constantly having distractions. And Carol, not that you're a distraction, but there's always things. What's the meme we were just talking to Lauren about yesterday at Mother's Coverage? She had mentioned that there's I think it was Emmy, actually.
Oh, yeah.
There was a meme.
Oh, yeah. It was great. This guy's, they're out hiking or something, and this guy's fallen and he's broken his leg and he's in agony. He's, oh, God, help me, get your phone, call 911. And the guy picks up his phone.
His friend picks up his phone.
His friend picks up his phone and like social media comes up and he's scrolling and the guy goes, what are you doing? He goes, oh, yeah, sorry, I forgot.
And how many times does that happen? Yeah. There's so many times I go on my device because I do have like my work email on there and a lot of things that are productive on there. But then it's those little notifications, and it is really helpful to even just turn off those notifications.
I don't even have them on my watch. I don't have any notifications. That's what's supposed to make these things so great. I think that's what makes them terrible. I just have my heart rate variability on there. I have my sleep score. I can actually tell the time on this thing, although I don't care about the time that much. But anyway.
He doesn't. We had this discussion last night. Because he was getting after me because I'm sometimes up to these lives. I'm like 20 seconds before I'm sitting down, and it drives him crazy. So we had a discussion about time this morning. Yeah,
because apparently I'm always behind at the office. Who would have thought?
And I'm the one who has to talk to the patients. I'm so sorry. He's running behind. So anyway, but see, another distraction.
Yeah.
But it's all about awareness. It really is. And it's really the first step. Just becoming aware of those things around you that perhaps trigger you, aware of foods that cause you discomfort, or maybe they make, there's foods that can contribute to symptoms of ADD. I really am aware of foods I eat that don't agree with me. And it's not necessarily agree with me like I have an allergic reaction,
Right.
but they don't agree with me. They don't agree with my brain. They don't agree with my gut. Awareness and thoughts too. Becoming aware of your thoughts is a big part of the journey.
So we recommend meditation a lot, and people say, "Oh, I can't meditate." Well, my first question is, if you can't meditate, who's in charge? But the second question is, then I say, well, why? Why can't you meditate? And they say, oh, because I have all these thoughts. Oh, so you're doing it right.
Yeah,
because
it's about being aware.
It's about being aware. If you're sitting in meditation and you realize that you're having all these extraneous thoughts, that's the point of meditation, is to be aware of all those extraneous thoughts, and then to start to let them go, to say, okay, well, no, that's a real thought, that's a real concern, but right now that's not what I'm doing, and try to let it go. And so if you have, they call it monkey mind in, I don't think that's true, because I doubt that monkeys are really as frantic in their heads as we are. One of my favorite memes is actually this guy sitting on a park bench, and over his head is the bubble, and he's thinking about the airplane and the dollars and the bank and the this and the that and the other thing. And the dog who's sitting next to him has the bubble, and all he's thinking about is sitting next to the guy on the bench. He's just present. And I think that's what most animals are just present. And so we should really call it human mind, not monkey mind. But anyway, it's called monkey mind when your mind is just going bloop, 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 bloop. And that meditation is, you're supposed to recognize that. That's the point of meditation.
It's a way to separate yourself from your thoughts. You realize that you are not your thoughts.
Right.
They're invasive. And good morning, Mike. Yes, 4 hours to get home the other day. Oof.
Oh, really? That was fun, huh? Yeah.
Carol, my Reiki master, I see, recommended 2 hours of meditation 3 days in a row. Yeah, it is. We've done that recently where we'll do an hour in the morning and an hour in the evening just these past few weeks. And it is amazing. I would have to say, it kind of just gives you a different vibe for the day. It really does. And getting up at that an hour earlier is, as you said, not easy. And once in a while before bed, I'll accidentally fall asleep sitting up meditating.
Yeah, but you know what? When I fall asleep meditating, it's probably it's a great sleep. Yeah, so it's not all terrible.
So thank you for bringing that up. And it doesn't have to. Obviously, I don't think meditating for me 2 hours a day is going to be sustainable in the long run. So I love this 3 days in a row. It really, because you could do it a Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It really gives you just a taste of it, so to say. So thank you for that recommendation.
Yeah. It's an interesting thing. We don't think about it, but our brain is, something in a few percent of our body weight, less than 5. And yet it uses 25% of the energy we consume in any given day. So there's a lot going on up there, right? I mean, there's a lot going on. So if that's the case, and if it's connected to pretty much everything else in our body, it's sort of in control. I won't tell the story my professor told me about the heart and the brain, because I've already told that. But the bottom line is, there's a lot going on, and if we're continuously giving our body alarm signals, not consciously, not because it's psychosomatic, but because we've been sick for a long time, and those pathways have just become our default mode. There's actually something in our brain called the default mode network, and it's where we just sort of ruminate on things. And when that default mode includes inflammatory alarm pathways, that's not helping us get well. Because when we're in fight or flight, we're shutting down our immune system. We're shunting blood away from our gut so that even if we're eating a good diet, we're not really digesting and absorbing well. It's shutting, did I say immune system already? It's shutting down our prefrontal cortex, so we're not making as good of decisions as we might. It makes it harder to avoid the cookie and all those kinds of things.
Yeah, it puts us in a pro-inflammatory state.
Absolutely. So being aware is really an important piece of the puzzle. But I've been aware I'm an asshole for a long time, you know. But so it takes a little bit more than that. And we're going to talk later on in the in the month about, you know, other aspects of this. But awareness is the first step. It's not the last step.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're going to bring it all together at the end of the month.
Yeah.
But, and something that really stuck with me that I've learned along the way is that when we see something, we don't see it with our eyes. We see it with our brain. We see it with our past experiences, you know, with our traumas, with the good and the bad. We see things as we are. So I think that bringing in
believing is seeing, as you say. Yeah, believing is seeing. Not seeing is believing.
No. Yeah, because we all see the same thing and we interpret it differently, right?
Yeah.
So I just think that that piece of awareness is so critical. And it's really fulfilling, too, to become aware of everything around you and live more deeply in the moment. Because each moment, each day, when we wake up, we're gifted with those 24 hours. And I think it's really magical to become aware, even aware of the hard stuff too, and those emotions and those feelings that you feel, whether you're going through something hard or something good. They're both meant to be felt, emoted, and experienced.
Yeah. So I can't remember the quote right now, but I'll butcher it. But it's something like, every day I'm presented with nearly insurmountable problems, which are actually just opportunities in disguise. You know, it just depends on how you view it, and how you think about it, and you know, you brought it up. I wanted to say that I strongly believe that feelings are meant to be felt, and emotions are meant to be emoted, but they have meaning and they have purpose. So when something is welling up in you, some emotion is welling up in you, it means that there's something in your proximity, you know, whether that means memory proximity or physical proximity or just whatever, that's deeply meaningful to you. Because you wouldn't be having an emotional response to something you didn't care about.
No.
So go ahead. You want to say?
No, I was going to say when you have an emotion, and perhaps it's sadness, and you cry, that act of like releasing the tears and crying actually puts you in parasympathetic.
Yeah.
So it's so important to do those things.
Yeah. Emote and feel. Yeah.
But emote, but not erupt.
yeah, right. Yeah. So, that's my method, eruption.
Not all the time.
No, sometimes. But so if something is in your proximity that you care deeply about, this emotion wells up, right? And think of that welling up emotion as almost the gong for the beginning of meditation. It's like, oh, the bell just went off. I'm feeling it. So now
that's the awareness.
That's the awareness. And what is it? And then what would be a wiser and more compassionate response to that emotion? You know, is it to fly off the handle and get pissed off and scream and yell and, you know, so on?
Which we'll get into more next week, the next part of it.
Yeah. Or what is it? So just thinking about that that awareness of that emotional upwelling, whether it's a good emotion or a bad emotion, what's really the most wise and compassionate response to that? And that's sort of what we'll talk about for the rest of the month as well. But this idea of awareness seems trivial, but it's actually not only not trivial, but it's not entirely, it's simple, but it's not easy.
No, and I'm going to go about my day, and I'm going to forget about the awareness piece until it comes up. And then I will become aware, because the more you're aware, the more you become aware. So it will, when I'm in the middle of something, and I, you know, as you practice, it becomes a little bit earlier, but I'll be aware of my own dialect or dialogue that I'm putting behind the that seeing piece. I'm seeing things as I am.
Yeah.
So just the to-do or the little piece just become aware.
Yeah. Think about awareness.
Yeah.
And if you and we love it when you guys comment. It's fantastic. We're on a phone this morning because we moved our desk and yada yada, all kinds of reasons.
This is supposed we have set up a new outdoor studio.
And I didn't shovel it off, but when it wasn't ice.
So we went to do it this morning. I was like,
yeah. So we're not out there today.
Yeah, we have a great snow removal person at the clinic, and we need him to come home here, I guess, because Tom's not always so good at that. Neither am I.
Yeah.
So hopefully next week we'll be out there.
Maybe. We'll see, unless it snows again.
You never know. It is April in Minnesota.
Yeah. So I forgot what I was going to say, but think about awareness, and we'll see you next week.
Yeah.
Right? All righty. Have a great day. Oh, I was saying, I love it when you guys comment. So we always go through and we always try to comment on everybody who comments. So please do. All right. Bye.
Take care.